Global trade war is reshaping the alliances. On Friday, Chinese President Xi Jinping called on the European Union to join hands to maintain global rules and order, while other regional powers too are getting closer to China in view of emerging situation on trade front. On one hand, Trump called the European Union very smart. He also said he would love to get a deal with China to end the escalating trade war. Fuzail Ahmed reports.
Besides raising fears of a global slowdown, Trump's tariff orders seem to be pushing to reshape global trade dynamics and regional alliances. On Friday, Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez was in Beijing, where he held talks with the Chinese President Xi Jinping. The Chinese president urged the EU to join hands with Beijing in defending globalization and maintaining global rules and order. However, Sanchez pushed for a more balanced relationship between Beijing and the EU. Sanchez also suggested that China and the United States needed to hold talks to defuse the situation.
Trade wars do no good, nobody wins. And that's not just probably, because I'm sure of it. The world needs the US and China to talk.
As Trump targets China, the European Union and China have also begun negotiations over electric vehicle pricing. According to the European Commission spokesperson, EU and China agreed to look into setting minimum prices of Chinese-made electric vehicles instead of tariffs imposed by the EU last year. The development came after EU Trade Minister Maros Sefcovic spoke with Chinese Commerce Minister Wang Wentao. Besides this conversation, the top EU officials and Chinese leaders are due to hold their next summit, marking 50 years of ties with China in July. Meanwhile, at a cabinet meeting which was open to the press, Trump said he would love to get a deal with China to end an escalating trade war.
What happens with China? We would love to be able to work a deal. They've really taken advantage of our country for a long period of time. I have great respect for President Xi. He's been, in a true sense, he's been a friend of mine for a long period of time. And I think that we'll end up working out something that's very good for both countries.
At the same meeting, Trump also spoke about European Union, saying EU is very smart in holding off on tit-for-tat tariffs against the United States.
They've been very tough, but they were very smart. They were ready to announce retaliation, and then they heard about what we did with respect to China and others, but China, and they said, you know, we're going to hold back a little bit. They decided to hold back. I thought they were very smart. Look, the EU is very smart.
Trump's tariff announcement did not go well with the European partners too. French Prime Minister François Bayrou termed Trump's tariff announcement as an earthquake. Trump's tariffs are also pushing few Asian countries towards China despite concerns over its expansionist policies. On March 30, 2025, the trade ministers of China, South Korea and Japan held a meeting in Seoul. The three countries agreed to closely cooperate for comprehensive and high-level talks on a South Korea-Japan-China free trade agreement deal to promote regional and global trade.
It is necessary to strengthen the implementation of RCEP, in which all three countries have participated, and to create a framework for expanding trade cooperation among the three countries through Korea-China-Japan FTA negotiations.
While in response to Trump's tariff, China on Friday hit back at the US and announced a decision to raise tariffs on US goods from 84% to 125%. While European Union decided to put countermeasures on US tariffs on hold for 90 days, China adopted a more aggressive approach, slapping counter tariffs without wasting any time. Fuzail Ahmed's report for DD India.